Guardiola is going to sign a brand new extension at Manchester City Football Club. No, we are not giving you exclusive information, but we're going to outline why we believe this is happening. We put this up on our Twitter. Go and follow that as well if you haven't done, by the way. It's linked in the description. Follow up our Twitter where we give our thoughts daily, and you can contact us there as well. But listen, the point of this video is we want to talk about why we believe Pep is going to very soon sign a new extension at Manchester City. Now, obviously, he is going into the final year in his contract. He's just completed 6 years at the club. What a long time. When he first arrived, no one could have foresaw that one of, if not the greatest manager of all time, spending 7 years at Manchester City. He's about to go into his 7th season, and he's won, I think, it's 11 or 12 trophies. Unbelievable return from this guy. But there is a lot of reasons as to why we believe he's going to sign an extension. First of all, I want to talk about how happy he probably is, the club, with the way it's going. I believe at the start of the summer, Pep sat down with Cheeky and the board and said, I want to know where we are going moving forward and how we're going to transition. Football is cyclical, people. You can't have the same players, the same squad for 7, 8, 9, 10 years and expect the same return all the time. And Pep isn't a silly man. There's no way Pep would stick around for a new wave of Manchester City Football Club if he felt it was going in the wrong direction. My gut feeling is, and of course I want every single person watching this video, if you can, to get down below in the comments and give your thoughts on how you think this is shaping up. But my gut feeling personally is Pep sat down with the board at the start of this transfer window and outline players he wanted, identify players he wants for each position, outline players that he feels might be time for them to move on. Maybe not now, but in the next 12 months. There are a few players now north of 30. Now, clearly Erling Haaland was a player Pep said, I want, and I want now, essentially. Cheeky said, your wish is my command, Mr. Guardiola. And he went and got that player, didn't he? Pep said, I want Calvin Phillips. He's a player I need now that Fernandinho's gone. A player north of 30, north of 35, Fernandinho. You need refreshments. Cheeky said, your wish is my command, Mr. Guardiola. He went out and got Calvin Phillips. Now, we already got Julian Alvarez as well, and now we're looking at Cucurella, and we did a video just there on Wednesday talking about Serge Gnabry. There's clearly a more useful transition beginning at Manchester City, and I believe Pep is at the forefront of all this because he's about to sign a bumper extension. Well, when I say bumper, it's probably 2 or 3 years, maybe. I'd be surprised if he committed anywhere further past 3 years. But he's thinking a long term. He's thinking, how is my team going to look in 2 or 3 years' time? Because I still want to be here. Rebel, what do you think about all this?
I mean, you can't ignore all the players in this when they come out and say, "Oh, I want to play on the Pep. I want to play on the Pep." That very clearly means he's not. He's not gone in the next 12 months anyway. I think he's been so crucial in signing all these players. He's a big reason why Cucurella is seeming to get over the line. I think even our recent signings, just ignoring this transfer window, even the signings before that, even the ones who have left, like Torres, have said it's an opportunity I can't pass up working with Guardiola. I think you said on Wednesday it's like a bucket list team for footballers at this stage, which it is. Like the reason we are getting these players, like you've heard Grealish talk as well about how much they want to play under Pep, and then you hear the players come out whilst here and say his training's unbelievable, he's a great coach, and that makes players want to come even more. Like he's the main reason we're getting these players. Let's not take the piss like that. I think he's the main reason we are getting these players to come in because they know what he can do to a player's career. And I think, with all that said, I think he's going to end up signing, because you're not going to sign players like Haaland and Phillips for 1 year with Pep. It's just not going to, that won't work. I think a part of negotiations between Haaland and City had a kind of an under the table thing saying Pep Guardiola will be staying for either the tenure of our contract or a good chunk of it. I can't see him going in the next couple of years. Anyway, I think we have him down for 3, maybe even 4 years, hopefully.
I reckon the main reason why all of these players signed, like you said, is because Pep probably gave them a verbal agreement or verbal promise that I will be here past this next 12 months. You're spot on. If you think particularly Haaland out of all these players, and Phillips definitely as well to an extent, and Grealish last summer, but Haaland, one of the most sought after players in world football, you think he's going to sign a 5-year contract at Manchester City just for one of them to be under Pep and some random manager that no one knows is next to come in and be there for the next 4? No, Pep is the main attraction at this football club. Yes, there's plenty of money in Manchester City. Yes, there's great facilities and we've won plenty of trophies, but the reason we can retain and sign world-class players is because of Pep Guardiola. He is the catalyst to all of our success. Credit to Mancini, credit to Pellegrini, and credit to the board. But Pep has elevated us to this next level in world football. He's made us go from a good club challenging for trophies year in, year out to a world-class club, attracting world-class players, beating world-class clubs to their signatures. It is absolutely imperative that Manchester City secure this guy's signature. And with further past 12 months, but with the ruthlessness we have showed in the transfer market this summer, you would believe that they're going to show similar ruthlessness, if not more, in getting Pep's contract extended. And he said it himself in a press conference a couple of months ago, Pep. He's like, where usually he'd be like, oh, I'm not talking about this. I'm not having a comment about this. He said something different. He said, why would I want to leave? If we're both happy, if the club are happy and I'm happy, why would I want to leave? They give me everything. I'm happy here. And I think he genuinely feels he has found a home in Manchester. I'd say, like I said at the start of this video, none of us could have foresaw in 2016 when he joined him being here for 7 years or even 5 years. If you asked me back then, I couldn't have foreseen it. And I don't think if you'd asked him hand on heart did he see it either. I think he felt it was going to be a quick challenge, similar to Bayern Munich, 2 or 3 years, and then move on somewhere else. But I think he has genuinely fallen in love with this club. He gets on great with the board. The players all buy into his ideologies. Why would he want to leave? My guess, though, is they will bump up his wages a little bit, because naturally over the next few months, if the extension doesn't get announced soon, naturally over the next few months, other clubs will come in and say things to Pep in his ear, like, PSG might come along and say, you want to come into Paris, we'll give you a few more cash, or a bit more cash in the bank, whatever you want to call it. City will offer him more money. City will. I know for a fact, with the way we are operating in recent years, City will say to Pep, blank check, you put your figure on it, and we'll all be a happy club, because the club know moving forward he is absolutely the catalyst to any success we have. Whatever success comes for us in these next 2 or 3 years, it's because of Pep Guardiola. You can have all the great players you want, but without a great manager, you see it with Liverpool and Klopp as well, it just doesn't work, Rebel. He's the main man.
That's it. I mean, you look at the surroundings as well. I think you mentioned some of the board members have come in with Pep, like Tiki. I could be wrong in saying Omar Barada came in after Pep. I could be dead wrong. But those type of, like, his pretty much his friends, like they brought him out above his friends. You have people like, who was that? He brought in Juan Malilo. Obviously he's gone now, but he brought him in because he was one of his coaching idols. Pretty sure he's very close to Rodolfo Borrell. He's moved up to the assistant manager for next season. He very clearly had a tight enough bond with Enzo Maresca now that he's back. He's back after he took an assistant stint somewhere else afterwards. He's back at City now. This club are building around him. It's not building around any players anymore. It's building around a manager who wants the players, who knows the players he wants, and he's forming the club in his image. He's making let's be fair, he's making a dynasty. This is something like what you're going to see now. Fingers crossed, is something that's gone on for years. You're going to see a team with sustained dominance at the top of the Premier League. Like, it's 4 in the last 5. It could get a lot worse from here on in if he stays, and I think he has that in his mind, and I think City have that in their mind, which is again what they're going to put that blank check. I'm going to say, put down what you want, name your price, we want you here forever. I think that's what it's going to be, because you can't afford to lose, especially in this climate. Who would you get? Realistically, who would you get? Like, there's no bar Zidane, there's no elite manager still on the list of someone without a job.
I think you're spot on there. One of your points is that it's fantastic winning the trophies we have done under Pep, and in that short space of time, or relatively short space of time, 4 or 5 years, 6 years now, Pep, all the trophies won is great. But I think Pep himself will know, the club know, that we are onto a real legacy here. If this guy stays and we continue in the journey and trajectory we are, there's a serious era of dominance that people will look back on and go, that was something special. And Pep is a very driven guy. He's a competitive guy. He's not one of these managers that will happily retire having won a few trophies, and people will look back from that club and go, oh, he was our great manager. He wants to be world renowned for dominating a whole era. He's bigger than just winning trophies. This guy wants his name to go up there with the greatest of all time, and I believe it will, but the club will know that there's a serious legacy to be built here. And listen, it's common knowledge that just straight after the season finished, Pep flew out with a couple of the board members to, was it Abu Dhabi or wherever the Sheikh was staying at the time. Pep met face-to-face with Sheikh Mansour, as he does, I think, most years, but he met up this year, and there was a couple of interviews done, and they were all smiles. You best believe, people, Sheikh Mansour's biggest priority in that conversation was, I want you to stay, Pep. And I'd say the Sheikh rarely doesn't get what he wants. So I think it's going to happen. Listen, people, we made this video not for no reason. We believe all the signs, all the signals are pointing to, maybe not a bumper is the right word that I used earlier on, but a decent Pep extension. I think 2 or 3 years on top of what he already has left, which is 1 year. I think by the time he goes, we could definitely have seen 10 years of Pep. I think that definitely possibly 10 years of Pep, and you could be looking at 6 or 7 Premier Leagues, hopefully, with a bit of luck. He's a special, special manager. Jose Mourinho calls himself the special one. I don't believe he is. I believe it's Pep Guardiola. Listen, get down below in the comments and leave your thoughts on what we are, our little conspiracy theory. We'll call it the 1894 conspiracy theory for now. Hopefully it materializes into something real. We are manifesting. Leave a like, comment, subscribe. We're on the road to 3K. Good night and God bless.